So the president asked us when he was being sworn in to be citizens and not spectators. Well, if he was joking, then that's too late, because some people took it very seriously. They are active participants in the citizenship of Ghana. My guests are two members of one of the most influential pressure groups in Ghana. They are called Occupy Ghana. Ankomah is a private legal practitioner. He's here. Good evening, Ace.
Good evening, Ghana.
Dr. Micheal Segbefia is a doctor, medical practitioner, who is also a member of Occupy Ghana. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good evening. He's a bone carpenter.
You're a bone carpenter?
Yes.
Wow, so you cut bones and join them? On a good day.
On a bad day.
Fantastic. Now, we'll be very happy to take your questions for Occupy Ghana, their approach, what topics they choose. City FM and Occupy Ghana jointly petitioned the president on a very important subject. We'll discuss that as well. But I want to remind viewers of what the president said when he was sworn in January 2017.
I ask the legislature and judiciary to join with me, but no president, no parliament, no government can undertake this mission all by itself. Fellow citizens, you must be at the center of the change. The change we have voted for will have to start with each of us as individuals. We can start with little changes in our own individual attitudes and practices. The change can and should start now and with us as individuals. I ask you to be citizens, not spectators, citizens, not subjects, responsible citizens, building your communities and our nation. Let us work until the work is done. Holy Scripture in Galatians, chapter 6:9 says, and I quote, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." I assure you, my fellow citizens, who have entrusted me with this mandate, that I will advance my convictions with civility. I will serve the public interest with courage. I will speak for greater justice as well as compassion, and I will call for responsibility, and I will live it as well. This is my solemn pledge.
President Akufo-Addo, 7th January, too much elections in my mind, 2017. So that was where he made the famous statement, "Be citizens and not spectators." All right, so City FM and Occupy Ghana, in our quest to be active citizens, put together a petition we delivered to the president Friday, 25th of July. We thought that there were too many medical facilities which had started but did not finish, and the medical emergency response system in Ghana was below par. Here's a quick report we put together to tell you how far that petition has come.
The petitioners, CTFM and Occupy Ghana, are requesting for presidential action to operationalize newly built health facilities and institute a comprehensive emergency response system in Ghana. These two concerns, according to the petitioners, is a matter of serious public interest and of grave public importance that have reached a crisis point. They indicate that the matters now require drastic measures, requiring the presidency to publish a roadmap with timelines for addressing the matters. The petition identifies over 10 abandoned healthcare facilities nationwide and proposes an 11-point plan for a comprehensive emergency response system in Ghana. The petitioners assert that poor healthcare is a gross violation of the inherent right of Ghanaians to good healthcare. They are therefore calling for direct action from the president to ensure that these matters are addressed. The petitioners, however, acknowledge the operationalization in phases of the University of Ghana Medical Center and the International Maritime Hospital, which were initially included in the petition.
So that was a short report from the City News Desk. So it's Ankomah and Dr. Micheal Segbefia. Good evening once again. Welcome to the show. It's interesting. You are a lawyer and a doctor, and yet you are both active citizens on Occupy Ghana. Tell us a bit about how you guys got together to be part of this Occupy Ghana movement. Maybe Ace first.
Well, you recall that there was an Occupy Flagstaff House event.
Yes.
which we did not organize.
Okay.
A lot of the people in Occupy Ghana just attended the event. Subsequently, we got together and said, let's support the young people who put this together. And so it evolved, and the name Occupy Ghana came up. As things turned out, at some point there was a coalition of ideas, there's a coalition of members. As things panned out, there was separations, other groups got formed out of it. But so we were birthed out of that event, even though we were not the ones who created the event. And we wanted to do another level of social activism. For those of us who are in Occupy Ghana, not necessarily a lot of feet on street action, but we said that we'll take the fight where they can't hurt us. Let's have an intellectual battle.
Okay.
And so we pick the fight, and we want to fight it in the intellectual realm. And we have an argument in the intellectual realm and see how things pan out. So it's out of that.
So it wasn't partisan politics? Because some people thought that the Occupy Flagstaff House, Occupy Ghana thing was aimed at regime change.
We see, if the regime is not doing well, it should change.
Okay.
But and the organization is political.
Okay.
And members have their partisan views. You should see us argue. They have their partisan
So
views.
it's political, but not partisan.
The organization cannot be partisan.
Okay.
We might have different partisan views,
Okay.
but the organization is not partisan.
Okay.
So
Ghana first.
Yes,
Okay.
there's the group first. There's Ghana first. So when you see a statement that we have issued, it will amaze you how many drafts it's gone through,
Okay.
how many opinions, how many days we've been fighting to come up with it. And so having different partisan views, different political views, different economic views, different social views shapes what we come up with. Everything you see out there is a compromise statement.
So as we know, at least we in the media, because he talks to us a lot, but Dr. Micheal Segbefia, we have just heard of. So tell me about who you are.
I'm a lecturer in the university.
Okay.
Okay, and I realized that I cannot change it just in the classroom.
Okay.
I mean, things were taking too long. Okay, and I have relatives who come to hospital and suffer the same fate and so on. And therefore, I felt that it was necessary to be part of a bigger society that will advance the fight. That is why I'm actually happy to be here, because of this City FM OG collaboration. It is important because without collaborating, we can't go anywhere. We need the collaboration to be able to drive the agenda.
So both of you, lawyer, doctor, not satisfied with what is happening in Ghana, you want change. What kind of change do you want? Because I thought you lecture, you also lecture, you treat people every day. Is that not change enough?
Oh, well, I mean, it is the beginning, you know, but the system, the society has adapted to the change. And this change we're asking for is not like a miraculous change. We're talking about putting in place systems today that we know that in the next 10 years, okay, would have moved from point A of 54 ambulances to point B of 200 ambulances, you know. At least let us see the process unfold. If you don't see the process unfold, then we lose hope. As a matter of fact, it's out of loss of hope that I joined Occupy Ghana, because I could have been better served abroad.
So loss of hope?
Yes.
In what?
Everything. I mean, you go to work, you don't have the right things to work with. You teach people, and 50% of your students who leave Ghana go somewhere, maybe about 80% and so on. So, you know, what are you getting at? I mean, there's nothing.
So you were at the brink of losing hope. For which reason you joined
maybe
Occupy
abandoning ship.
You're about to run away.
No, I mean, it's, you know, you all have children, we all have families, we have social responsibilities. You know, I mean, yesterday I got a call. A brother of mine got a stroke.
Oh.
Okay, so I was disorganized. But if we were abroad, you would have gone to the hospital, you would have been taken care of. I didn't have to go there to go and see whether there was a bed. You know, it has
so even after yesterday, you have to go and check if there was a bed.
Yes, I mean, so the point I'm trying to make is that it is important for us all to be part of it.
Okay.
There's nothing about, there's nothing wrong with trying to do what is right.
So what is it that you want? Not on the issue of the beds, generally, because generally, what do you want?
For Ghana to be truly 60 years. Because by the 6th decade, we've run out of excuses. I'm tired of blaming the colonialist. I'm tired of blaming Ankomah or who overthrew him in 1966. we have run short of excuses, and we are not taking any excuses. We think that the issues can be addressed, and we can see change. And with the little we see from the little that we do, look, he's a busy doctor. He's a what do you call bone specialist? What's the technical name? He's fixing people's legs and cutting things and joining them together. I'm a busy lawyer, but we are not happy with the system. We could easily become insular and just work, make our money, look after our families and children. But there's a call on our lives that goes beyond success into trying to effect significant change. Everybody and his cousin, who I knew at the time, told us that our fight against the Auditor General was going to lose. Guess what? We did not. And the first time the Auditor General exercised his disallowance powers, after we had spent money to go to court, he disallowed 5.4 billion cedis in illegal expenditure. This is money that would have paid for no work done. And so we sit back and say, this 5.4 million cedis didn't come into my pocket. It wasn't distributed to Michael and I. But the Ghanaian population has been saved illegal expenditure of 5.4 billion cedis, which might not have happened, but for the fact that the Supreme Court instructed the Auditor General that whenever you see wrong expenditure, you are bound by law to disallow and surcharge. Now, these are the little victories that we win. We may not win the war at a go, but we pick the little battles and we win them one after the other.
So you pick, that's interesting, but you pick the little battles. What determines what you pick?
They make a difference. Okay, today, everybody is afraid of the Auditor General. Okay, so he's blazing the trail for the next one. Okay, so it's going to get better. Okay, it's just going to get better. That's what we've been fighting for. We don't expect the thing to change overnight. I don't expect the VAs to disappear from the streets and disobey traffic. Okay, but if systems are put in place, gradually the nonsense will stop. That's, for me, that's my belief. Okay, so now, if Auditor General is going to Parliament, people are panicking. Because they don't know what is going to be released there. Okay, it may not be 100% right, but at least the process has started. And that process must continue.
So explain the Auditor General thing to me is, what was this Auditor General thing about?
I'll tell you, it was as far back as 1992 when I was a TA, 92, 93. And I read this portion about the Auditor General having powers of disallowance and surcharge. That if in the course of his audit, he notices that an expense is unlawful, or that some money has not been brought into account, or that there has been a loss to Ghana on account of wrongdoing, illegality, even negligence, he's entitled to disallow the expenditure and surcharge the person who caused it. Between 7th January 1993, when the Constitution came into effect, till we got the decision on 17 July 2017, 17 June 2017, that portion of the Constitution had never been applied.
Wow.
Never. And when we picked up the fight, the then Auditor General wrote to us, technically telling us to go to hell. He said, look, you can't teach me my work. Oh yes, the first letter. You can't teach me my work. Rather, come and let me teach you what my responsibilities are. The thing I love is I love a fight. I mean, once he brought a fight, once he brought a fight, I loved it. So we fired one back to say, then we're going to take you to court. Today, I'll tell you something that I've never said anywhere. After our second letter, we got a quiet delegation from the audit service. Let's take it easy. Let's work together. And we started working together until we hit a snag. We worked together until we had designed the forms for the Auditor General. You don't believe this. They called us into a meeting and said, help us. And Bernard, that's one of the things that makes me sober. Often you start the fight, and you're having a fight with the people, then you realize that they don't even understand what you're fighting over.
Wow.
So we had a meeting with the Auditor General at the time who said, you know what, help us.
So just to be clear, up until that time, Auditor General will audit MNDAs, come up with a lot of findings. Parliament will go through it.
Have those charade of
and they will just complain, but nothing will change.
Nothing. Very little.
And your view was that the law gives them power to do more than simply doing the audit.
And if he surcharges you, you must pay within 14 days.
Surcharge on the basis of misappropriation of funds.
Either you stolen or through your negligence, the state has lost money.
So the entity that does that expenditure will pay back.
The individual who paid.
Who put autograph?
Who signed it.
And this was what the law said.
This was what the Constitution
said. And why
said.
we're not implementing it?
Because nobody bothered with it.
And it wasn't pushed.
Nobody bothered with it. So look, the laws that remain in our books that can change this country. We don't need to pass.
Is this the first auditor general you wrote to? You wrote to other auditor generals in the past?
No, we started this in after Occupy Ghana was formed in 2014.
Okay.
And so from the latter part of 2014, we started this fight. Look, to get the documents ready for the auditor general, I went to work on Christmas Day.
To get this done.
To get the work done.
No, he works on Sundays. No money. He works on Sundays.
So now, on the basis of what you've done, when we hear these audit reports on various MMDAs, we know that people who have misconducted themselves financially will either pay or pay. They will either have to pay back.
They pay back, or they would have to go to, or we immediately start selling their stuff.
Really?
They would have to appeal if they don't want.
So we can sell their stuff.
Oh yes, the law provides for it. Can you believe it? The law says that, and it has never been applied. We can attach their salaries to pay the debt. We can literally sell their stuff, and it has never been applied. Bernard, if I tell you the things we have in our laws that have never been applied, it will shock you.
Let's come to the hospitals and emergency centers. So, what was it about what City was doing that attracted you, and why did you think we ought to move this to the next level, to the presidency, Doc?
I mean, first of all, we need to highlight the problem. Was a good start. Okay, and then you went around the various abandoned projects and so on, and highlighted to the whole nation. Okay, I mean, things like this obviously will get the politicians running. Like, oh, what's happening? Could you, phone calls and so on. So that was a good start. Okay, but I think that the problem is about having a structure that works, which we lack badly in this society. I can tell you today for a fact that there's never been a time when 1,900 beds in Korle Bu are full. Never.
Are you serious?
All my life.
There's never been a time when all the beds in Korle Bu are full.
Never.
So how come the man who was sent, the 70-year-old man, died because there's no bed?
That's what I'm saying, that it's a system that needs to be put in place.
Okay.
It's a system that needs to be put in place. I mean, this man's son was driving him and so on from hospital to another, one hospital to another. Okay, emergency room has a finite number of beds. You can push. It says it's a limited space. But if, for instance, I have discharged 20 patients from my ward last week, I could have 20 beds. So if there was a bed management system, every bed must be digitized. So that a patient is discharged from ward A, the bed manager, who must be very powerful, okay, should be able to make sure the patient has left the bed. Okay, so that a patient in the emergency room can be pushed to that bed to free beds in the emergency room. But let us pretend the healthcare can never be free. Someone has to pay for it somewhere along the line. Okay, so if you come to the emergency room and you don't pay, very soon don't have the consumables to look after you. So that's there's a system that needs to be put in place, starting from the high command, coming down to the various levels. Okay, so that if you come to emergency room and you don't pay a bill, sometimes you're not moved to the next ward. You have to pay a bill for them to also keep running.
So you're saying it's a system.
It's a system problem.
The fight for more bed and all this, it's actually a lack of a proper system.
Yes, I mean, all the beds will be full in no time. I can tell you that. We have 4,000 potential beds if all these outstanding projects are done. But it'll be full in no time. If you don't put a system in place, we are wasting our time.
So that's why in the petition you guys added issues about how the system should be run. So it's not just opening the hospitals.
No. If you put more beds,
but hold on the financial side we calculated that if you had spent $1 billion on about 16 hospital projects and they had not even one was working, apart from the system issue, that's robbery because you've locked the money in concrete.
Sometimes I have to give it to the politicians. They have to be re-elected. Projects are not ready. They commission them before elections. So it puts pressure on the system because you haven't handled the financials for Legon. You haven't handled staffing and so on. You've commissioned it when it was not ready. So you put pressure on the system. That's what I'm saying. That, I mean, for me, the right to information bill is extremely important because it would have solved. I think that politicians will allow the right to information bill to pass quickly. It saves them all this having to lie and try to make excuses.
But hold, I want to get Ace on this. So you are saying it was your interest as a doctor in this was that the system is not working.
It's not working.
But we thought that money was being wasted.
I'll tell you what. It's true. Money had been spent. It was sitting in concrete.
Yes.
The money to commission had not been made available. That is why these facilities exist.
Yes. Yeah.
Our point is this: if we don't fix the system and accept that the no-bed syndrome is possibly a mask of even a more serious problem, right? Then we will build all of these hospitals and still have no bed.
Yeah.
Because there's no central command that is saying that, well, there are 20 beds available here, there are 15 available there are 3 available here. So if there's an emergency, we'll call this hospital and say, we are bringing this patient there. If you don't have that central command system, you might even send the patient to the wrong hospital, where there will be no beds, meanwhile there are beds elsewhere. So that coordination is what...
So you're saying the president, apart from making sure hospitals are finished, must ensure there's a system that links the hospitals to talk to each other. Wow.
An ambulance driver shouldn't call the hospital. The ambulance driver should call a high command. It's the high command that deals with the hospitals. It's the high command that's going to say, ambulance 112, go to Kolebu. There are certain conditions that other hospitals cannot treat. But most conditions can be treated by most hospitals. Okay, so someone has been stabbed in the chest, the knife is in the heart. Okay. You know, they have only one cardiothoracic center at the moment. So that's the center you have to send the patient to. Whether there's no bed in that hospital or not, they have to accept that patient.
Okay.
Okay. Somebody has diabetes. Other hospitals can manage the diabetes. So that patient doesn't have to go to Kolebu for diabetes to be managed. Okay, that's what I'm saying, that the system has to be there. That is why, for me, whoever designs that emergency response system, okay, it's critical to the success of health insurance working. People talk about 50 ambulances. Government has more than 50 ambulances. I can tell you for a fact today.
Government has more than 55 ambulances.
Yes. The government doesn't even know what it has.
The government doesn't know how many ambulances it has.
No, I don't. Every ambulance that belongs to the military belongs to the government. Every ambulance that belongs to Kolebu belongs to the government. Every ambulance that belongs to the trust hospital belongs to the government. Now, government institutions, Gapoha, Bank of Ghana.
So all the ambulances belong to us?
They belong to us.
Because we spoke to the ambulance service and there are 55 working.
Yes.
So we have more than 55?
Yes. So at this moment, you can divide the problem into short term, medium term, long term. Short term, you don't have the money to procure all the ambulances for the districts. So if you have a high command, can negotiate with all these institutions. Because government has put a...
So by your estimation, how many ambulances do we have?
I did a little count. We could actually add about 30 from government agencies alone.
But that's still 85.
Yes, but at least it's better than 54.
Okay.
You understand it? And then they're going to be on that network. And then it's okay. If you bring ambulances into Ghana as a private hospital, you don't pay duty. Okay, let us talk. How can we work with you? I mean, you're not my enemy. We are working for the same good. So, okay, in your own hospital, you have a fantastic ambulance. La Paz General, you have a fantastic ambulance. So, if we have a high command and all these ambulances are digitized, okay, what it means is that you look on your screen and say, oh, this person is in the airport. To get an ambulance from Kolebu, to get Nyaho has an ambulance. Let's stop Nyaho. After how many times we have to do that in a year? Twice. Nyaho may even decide that I'll write it off as part of my corporate social responsibility. We have to engage them. You have to engage them.
So all this was in the petition.
So what I'm saying is that let's put a few more things together. That's why we talk about collaboration, because you highlighted something, you drew attention to certain things, and then we started also looking beyond the no-bed syndrome.
Into the system issues.
The system issues.
Systemic issues, as they call
So just to be clear, you sent that, it was over 12 pages. I signed it with you.
Yes.
So what are we expecting? Just let the public know.
Well, now, the interesting thing is the reaction of the president. And the interesting thing is that the president harks back to his citizens, not spectators quote. And we are, and before that, we are choosing that as a topic
for this show.
It's interesting to engage with the political side of it. Because people, we call them OG Medical. Our OG Medical team, as you see, has a lot of ideas on how to pull these together in the interim, whilst we acquire some more. So that if there's a central command, which does this, it will be easy to coordinate the pickups if there's an emergency. We expect to start that discussion, but we expect clear roadmaps because the hospitals need to come on stream. When are we going to get more ambulances? But how many ambulances do we need in Ghana? What is the roadmap? What's the plan to make sure that we acquire those ambulances? Are private people going to bring it in? As he's saying, are we going to have a quick pro quo that you bring it in for no duty, but if the state needs it, we are allowed to commandeer it, and you cannot refuse access to your ambulance. You can use it for your private purposes, but when the public need it, because you brought it in tax-free, you are going to make it available to us, maybe for the next 5 years. These are the kinds of discussions we want to have with government, so that we finally get, like I said, a solid road plan where the 10 or more hospitals that need to be brought on stream will be brought on stream, and we can have a central emergency response system. If there's a problem in my house, I need one phone number. I don't need police one number, fire service one number, NADMO 8 numbers, ambulance 10 numbers. One that I dial, it goes to a central location, they hear my problem and patch me to whoever must do it. It is easy. Now the police have done it. The police have a central system with about 50 lines, but just one number, and you can call there. So it's not as if it doesn't exist, Bernard. The pilot projects exist.
We'll take a break and come back and look at more. My guests are Dr. Micheal Segbefia and Ankomah. We're discussing Occupy Ghana's approach to advocacy. In 2018 alone, they've broached many subjects: tramadol abuse, TV license, defense cooperation agreement, birth and death name registration, alleged corruption at Bost, Kelny GVG, board members versus CEO fights, statutory procurement audit, and now health. We'll find out how they choose the topics. Are they selective? Did they treat the NDC government the same as they are treating the MPP? And I'll read some of your messages as well. This is the point of view on CCTV. Don't go away.
We spice up your mornings with culturally enriched conversations, social interviews, and policy-oriented discussions that will keep you updated on the progress of the nation.
Because we're giving only those in their third trimester. So in the next 3 months, those in their second would be ready to receive the kits. And we're taking data at registration, which is before they take the kits, at delivery and post-delivery, so that we can analyze and we'll see the numbers. So from the numbers and the data that we're collecting, we would know what has worked, what hasn't worked,
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Let your voice be heard with the hashtag Breakfast Daily. Join us for breakfast daily, only on City TV.
The City FM Literacy Challenge is back. Are you a JHS student? Are you willing to contribute to change? What would you do if you were the president of Ghana? Do you want to win a whopping 10,000 Ghana cedis? If yes, then participate in the Literacy Challenge 2018. Level 1. The year is 2035. The law allows people below age 40 to contest the presidency. As a presidential candidate in a general election, in no less than 600 words, write your manifesto speech. Remember, letter must be in your own handwriting, must be endorsed by a parent or guardian. Add your full contact details and post to the Literacy Challenge, P.O. Box GP 14123 Accra Central, or drop it off at the front desk of City FM at the Braka behind the police station. Level 2, the top 50 students selected from all over Ghana shall take a written general knowledge quiz. And finally, Level 3, the top 10 students shall compete in the classic quiz competition to win the ultimate prize of 10,000 Ghana cedis. The Literacy Challenge is powered by 97.3 City FM and sponsored by Data Bank Edifund and MoneyGram with support from City TV. Closing date for entries is Friday, 10th August 2018. Call 0205-973-973 for more inquiries. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. This is The Point of View. We're live on City TV. We're also live on Facebook. Hashtag The Point of View. So already comments have started pouring in. We've discussed only two topics. The joint advocacy on abandoned medical facilities and the need for a better medical emergency response system. My guest is Ankomah, private medical practitioner and member of Occupy Ghana, and Dr. Micheal Segbefia. Here are some of your questions. Conrad in Tabora Accra says, good evening, Bernard. Kudos to Occupy Ghana. I like to know Ace's opinion on the new Ameri deal. Wow, these are the people we should give platform to explain the system to us. You don't add your name. Tinkrani Medina, good evening, Bernard. I want your panelists' ideas on the law school exam leakage. And again, what is their view on the amount of 953 million Ghana cedis to be spent on this regional division in the face of lack of funds within the health and doomsday education sector? My question is this reasonable? Should every party be allowed to do party promises to the detriment of pertinent national issues? Thank you, Tinkrani Medina. Bernard, I believe the Central Command Communication System would help deal with the no-bed syndrome. If it works, Kolebu and other big hospitals would not be packed while there are idle beds elsewhere. More comments. Please, we have 2016 nurses who are bonded by government to be employed after their mandatory national service. The minister promised to release financial clearance in middle July, but July is ending. We've not heard anything. What is OG doing? OG. More. This is an interesting one. Occupy Ghana is selective in their fight. Hope they have seen the rot and corruption in this current government. Their silence is too loud. Yakubu, not Legon. There's a lot. Let me just pick a couple. Quick comments on. People want you to comment on a Mary deal. Have you done anything on corruption at all in the things that I listed?
Plenty.
A lot.
Give me a quick.
I'll give you a quick
on the corruption.
We were one of the I'll get there. We were one of the first people to comment about the size of the government. And we said that the elephant-sized government will breed corruption.
Oh, you even use elephant?
Yes.
Okay.
This was when the
January 27th.
Yeah, we were right there in their face.
So you criticized the elephant size of the MPP
Absolutely. Now, if people say that we're one of the first people to comment on the bust issue, we said we sided with the investigation. When the investigation has been over and no Ghanaian has heard about it, we have sent a letter back.
You asked 19 questions.
We asked 19 questions. People seem to have forgotten of the boss deal, and we still haven't received one answer. We've sent a reminder. If we don't receive an answer, we will go to court. Now, why?
So size of government and bust, but the other corruption issues. Plenty.
No, you tell me.
Size of government is not necessarily corruption.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that people are asking whether you are seeing.
I'll tell you what. We in 2013 thereabout, the issue about the sale of government vehicles to department officials came up.
Yes.
The argument was that the law at the time didn't cover it. Quietly, the law got amended in 2016 to cover vehicles, to bring vehicles into the purview of a strict sale regime, where you just can't sell the properties out. It has to go for auction. Yet, in December 2016, 361 cars were sold at the office of the presidency without going through the procedure. We've been chasing it. We have the list. And we are demanding of government.
Wow.
You see, it's not everything that comes out straight
So
up.
on the auction of vehicles, you also took an interest in that?
Yes. We have the list of all of it. Now let me make the point. Look, how many are we in Occupy Ghana really? 15.
Oh, you're only 15. And I made a little bit.
Thank you. So you can imagine that our hands are full. It is not everything that we can speak about. In fact, it's not everything that we have the expertise. Sometimes we speak to people outside to advise us. I mean, you've seen the Ameri deal. We probably don't have the intent.
No, you have to enter the Ameri deal.
No,
because you've done bust, you've done sale of government vehicles, auction of cars.
I'll tell you what. When Ameri was first signed, if you remember what I said the agreement is so tight, we can never get out of it. Today we are seeing the points we made. That the agreement was written so tightly that we just can't easily get out of it.
But we've gone further into it.
Because the thing is tight. You see, people say...
No, but the people who criticize the deal as being a rip-off have now come up with a new deal that will make us pay more.
Not necessarily, but I mean, like
No,
I said,
it's true.
not necessarily.
We are going to
But
pay 1.2 billion.
we can argue. That's why we said that when it comes to such things, we take our time.
We consult. We get the information before we speak out. We don't just shoot.
So are you studying the Ameri deal in this current format?
Absolutely. Yeah, now, I'll tell you what. There's another view that came out on Ameri.
Yes.
And it's my friend Achu Amegashi.
Yes.
I spoke with him. I said, Achu, we've seen ASEP, we've seen VRA. Give me the perspective of an accounts professor. So he wrote a piece for us. So he criticizes it. Then we want more information on the matter. We want to study the documents. I, as a lawyer, would want to read the bill into detail to understand it. The economists and the finance people and the engineering people will give us a...
So you are promising me that you will get into America?
Oh,
because it's a matter of public interest.
But wait. But we may not speak.
Why won't you speak?
It is not everything that we speak about. There are many things we begin and choose that we don't have.
What determines whether you speak or not?
I'll tell you, when we are sure we have a clear position that will add to the debate, sometimes we don't have the expertise. And so,
but you are a world-class lawyer.
No,
you can't not have expertise on the American.
A lawyer doesn't mean I understand.
If I don't understand BOQs.
You must understand.
But we understand common mathematics. If I have a deal which costs 510 million and it's for 5 years, I've paid 3 years. You're left with 2 years to pay. You've got to sign a new agreement that says
so wait
keep the thing for 15 years.
No.
I mean, how is that?
From us.
Anyway, so you said that
we are going to look at.
And you know what?
It will not pass.
And on corruption.
Yes.
We forget that in 2017, the Auditor General released a report.
Yeah.
Which showed that we're still losing money. We made a statement. So we're going to test the government against the 2017 report. The 2017 report is out. Our finance team has just finished with the graphs showing the losses over the years. How 2016 was an outlier, and how although 2017 has come down, it still beats the previous year.
People are asking why you are not commenting on what appears to be a waste of money in the creation of new regions. This was one of the comments.
Because it's not because listen, we are 15 people, Bernard.
No,
You must.
Are you interested in the issue?
Yeah, but we may or may not be. But it's our right. Listen, Bernard, we are private individuals who have decided to do public advocacy. So nobody pays us.
I agree.
I do. Look, he has a family to raise. I have a family to raise. We work full time. I might devote an hour a week to OG.
No, we just want to understand. We just want to understand what determines what choices you, what areas you choose.
We are under no obligation to talk about everything. We choose things that we have expertise in and things to which we can make a contribution. We can make an impact. If we look at it and it is outside our scope, we leave it.
But what people argue about for consistency's sake? Because you see that the truth is that once you enter the public domain and you solicit public support in a way, then you put yourself in a position where the public can question what you are doing.
Bernard,
so that's not to say that you are doing something wrong. But the public is asking you
everything.
Why this and not that.
But you must pick and choose your fight. Yes. Bernard,
you can't do everything.
In the 18 months that this government has been in power, we have issued statements and commented on 34 issues.
That's at a rate of...
So 2 issues every month.
Every month.
And they're not simple issues.
They're simple, complex, complicated issues.
Oh, you've done 34. Can you run through them quickly?
I'll give you a list.
In the 18 months of the Akufo-Addo government, you've commented on 34 issues.
9th March, we issued a statement on the emoluments and benefits of Article 71 office holders.
Yes.
9th March 2017.
On that same day, we issued a statement we met the Auditor General on the disallowance and surcharge regime because it was pending for court.
And he was new at the time. He was new at the time.
Good. Yes. 9th March, the same day, we issued a statement calling for a probe into the parliamentary bribery allegations.
Parliamentary bribe?
Yes.
So that's corruption.
Then guess what? In the midst of the fight to fix the Auditor General regime, we found out that there's a critical law that must be passed to support the appeal system that nobody had passed. The system said, help us.
So you helped them draft the law?
We drafted the law which was passed into law.
For free?
Who pays us?
You should have asked them to pay.
Now, you remember the lady who was beaten by a mob in Kumasi?
Yes.
We wrote a statement calling for prosecution.
This is still 2017.
Still 2017. Then we questioned the size of the executive and demanded strict performance standards. You might know that probably for the first time, all ministers went for yearly appraisals with the president.
They still haven't shared that.
They still haven't shared it.
They haven't shared their... And I remember you wrote that they should share with us the performance review. Look, so this is like number 6.
On 30th March, we declared red April for the entire month in the fight against Galamsey.
Yes, we were there with you.
Good.
Yes.
We were the Galamsey champions.
When people started calling them, threatening, we issued a statement that the government should call the bluff.
Yes. We
are the people who discovered that every small-scale mining license given in Ghana was illegal. That is what led to the ban of small-scale licensing. It was a statement on 12 May. That actually every license was supposed to go to Parliament for approval. None had been sent to Parliament. They were all unconstitutional.
So this is May 2017.
May 2017. Then, you remember the sexist action against a pregnant nursing woman?
Yes.
We wrote on it. She was allowed to write the exam. The husband wrote us a beautiful thank you letter.
Wow. Still 2017.
Still 2017. When the people were arrested for Galamsey charges and slapped with immigration charges. Yes. It was Occupy Ghana that petitioned the Attorney General to say that is wrong. The proper charges should be laid against
still
the Chinese.
Galamsey.
And it was paid. finally the charges were issued. They acknowledged were changed. It was
this is Aisha Huang and Co.
Aisha Huang and Co.
I see.
Now, you remember the lynching of Captain Maxwell Mahama?
You wrote something
we
on
made
that.
a statement on it. Now,
because it was directly related to Galamsey.
Bust was on 5th July 2017.
Yeah.
When we demanded investigations and asked 19 questions on 5th July 2017.
Yeah.
When the ministerial committee was set up, we accepted that. On 10th July, we finally got the Occupy Ghana versus Auditor General judgment. Bernard, if all we have done is to get that judgment to help the Republic of Ghana.
So I notice you use a very intellectual and sometimes legal approach. Pause there. What determines which approach you use? Because there are certain times you go to court, there are certain times you petition the president, there are certain times you just do a public statement. Tell me how
ADRs are to be encouraged.
ADR?
To be encouraged. So you would write the initial docile, demanding letters and so on. And when you don't get the appropriate responses, then you go to the next level.
Okay.
There's nothing to gain by going straight to court for everything, because a lot of the times you meet with the people and you realize that they're actually on the same page. Sometimes they just didn't even know that you're trying to help them deliver on what the Constitution demands of them. Okay, so usually people expect that you go to court. No, it's not the best approach. Okay.
So
I'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll wrap up on that, and we'll read a few more comments because it's getting very interesting indeed. Occupy Ghana. What's the next level for them? They're only 15 and they've been fighting a lot of issues. We'll try and deal with a few more points when we come back. Don't go away.
Spend 30 minutes every weekday catching up with all the trending social media conversations of the day. If you tweet it, we'll read it. We might just even Skype you.
Just, no matter your situation, you can rise to the top.
Absolutely.
You really
and
can.
It's interesting that he wrote this article on the 17th of June, and on the 18th of June, yesterday, he actually scored 2 goals in the Belgium World Cup meet.
30 minutes is all it takes, so use the hashtag 30minutes on social media to catch our attention. Join the most interactive social media TV show weekdays at 5 p.m. only on City TV.
Welcome back. This is still the point of view. We're talking to Ankomah, who's a private legal practitioner, and Dr. Micheal Segbefia. They're both members of Occupy Ghana, and they're giving us a quick history of what they've been doing since. You were formed in 2014, September? Right, so you are 4 years old next 2 months. More comments. But the program is really updated. The lawyer and the doctor's views are on point. But please tell Dr. Segbefia to speak up a little, because it makes a lot of sense. But unfortunately, I can't hear him. This is Charles from Tema. Ask Ace and OG about the fight against Galamsey. What's their plan in sustaining the fight? There's no name to that one. Holali Haliga, good evening, Bernard. Waiting for Mondays and Wednesdays to watch the show is always too long for me. Bold step taken by City and Occupy Ghana. That is the way to go. Ask Occupy Ghana concerning their opinion on the double or multi-track free SHS. And how do I join Occupy Ghana? Wow, three questions in one. So quickly, the issue of the double track or multi-track, people expect you to say something.
We haven't gotten there yet.
You are studying.
In fact, we have a meeting
to discuss
some of these things.
But like I said, Bernard, if you see something, say something, do something. Yeah. Don't ask why.
We are not organized. That's why he wants to organize. He wants to join you. Holali wants to join you.
Don't ask why Occupy Ghana is saying nothing about it. Sometimes we haven't even heard. Look, sometimes I'm in the office. I've been working the whole day. When I get home in the evening, I turn on social media. People are asking, why hasn't Ace commented about it? I don't even know the thing has happened. So it's as if you don't pay me for doing the work, but you expect me to be on the ball all the time. We are doing what we can. Bernard, is once every 2 weeks. Now, if you look at the tramadol statement we issued, you do the depth of the research that went into it. The statement we issued on the alleged rape of the minor, it involves a lot of work. it starts with 3 days of arguments. Then we start the drafting. So much work goes into it.
But Ace and Doc, is this not a safe approach? Statement and stuff. A lot of people feel that the problem with our politics is systemic corruption and incompetence on both sides, or whichever side you have it. So we need a middle class that's going to change the way the politics works. Funding of political parties. People are looking for kickbacks, and so at the center of most of these problems is corruption.
Yeah.
Now, your approach is incremental, but people feel that's not going to cause the real cataclysmic change we need.
I mean,
what's your comment?
But I say that philosophically nobody's wrong. I mean, you can argue for and against, but I can tell you this, that this Auditor General case that the Supreme Court ruled in the favor of OG is a huge event in the history of Ghana, because if public servants can be surcharged, okay, and they decide to do their work well, we are reducing the corruption. Because oftentimes when it comes to corruption, it's the public servants, public service workers who are corrupt. Because you cannot charge a private sector person for taking bribery. The law doesn't allow that. Do you understand? It has to be a public officer who has taken a bribe. So if you can reduce it at that level, gradually it is going to go down. I think that one of the biggest things that's ever happened in the landscape of Ghana is the Auditor General's verdict.
So for you, that one is significant enough.
More things are going to happen.
It's very consequential.
Very consequential.
Because once he begins the surcharging, and people, look, let me give you an example. You know the person who actually discovered the Woyome matter? It was the Auditor General.
Yeah.
Yes.
Went to Parliament.
Imagine if he had surcharged them at the time. Won't be involved with where we are now.
They won't even pay the second batch.
What about demonstrations? You were part of the demonstration.
We joined a demonstration
in 2015.
We joined a demonstration.
Doomsday must stop.
No, we didn't organize that.
But you were part.
I personally attended. The Occupy Ghana didn't organize that.
Are you against demonstrations?
No, we are not.
At all.
But we support them.
Has nothing happened within the past 18 months that will merit
I'll explain.
Collective.
I'll explain demonstrations.
Action like that.
Can I explain demonstrations to you?
Yes.
We found out very early in our organization, in our work, that they're expensive.
Financially.
Absolutely. You got to buy the t-shirts. You got to provide water for people to drink. You got to bus people to your demonstration. We didn't have that kind of money. That is why we took our battle to the intellectual phase. So we launched into what we call the Red Friday, which was the cheaper way of doing it.
Okay.
After a while, we realized that it had lost steam. We had called it so many times. Now, when we called it,
there's nothing special about it.
There was nothing special about it anymore. So we waxed back into the intellectual space. Let's issue the statements. Let's threaten action. Let's work with government officials. And let me tell you what.
But why aren't Ghanaians interested in things like Red Friday or demonstrating? Because they complain so much. They call into my show and complain a lot.
Yep.
And into other shows as well. So you get a sense that Ghanaians are not happy with a lot of things, generally. So why is it that when well-meaning people like you say, let's hit the street and demonstrate against Galamsey, they don't come?
I mean, there are many reasons. I can't speak for everyone, but I mean, some of the things they have to go to work to earn a living, you know what I mean? And some of the things that I come there and then some shooter will show up. You know, there are different reasons.
So there's indifference and there's fear.
There's fear.
And there's also economic reality of, I can't sacrifice my time.
You have to go to work. You have to, you know.
But is the middle class disappointing you? Because they are very vocal on social media, yet they don't exert at all. I mean, look at you. You guys work very hard and you spend hours writing statements. A lot of people who have the same wherewithal are not interested at all.
No, they're not disappointed in us. I mean, I think that every little helps.
Yeah.
You know, every little helps. You know,
so just a little.
Yes.
No, but seriously, you have been diplomatic. You've been fighting this fight. Are you telling me that all the people who send you sidebar messages, all the people who are on your WhatsApp groups, who like football and talk to you in church, who claim to be concerned about Ghana, if they were to join what you were doing, it to be more effective?
Absolutely. If each does a little, together we'll do a lot. But we've chosen what we can do, and we are doing what we can. That's why I'm completely not fussed about who say, why have you done this? Why have you not done this? I'm doing what I can. You to do some.
No, but you see, you are the leader. The truth about leadership is that leaders emerge. So you've not been elected, but you can't claim that because you are not elected, it means you don't have a responsibility.
But I can do what I can do. Only do what I can do. I can't do something.
People are looking to you. You represent the aspirations of a lot of people, and you don't need to be voted to have demands placed on you.
But you're nudging me into saying then I'm disappointed in more people not showing up. I am encouraging people that you too occupy. You don't have to be a Ankomah to occupy. I'm not an engineer. You are in the field. You've seen that something is going wrong. Speak up. But often people are worried about their livelihood and who is going to intimidate them. You're getting midnight calls. Look, some of the documents you have received have been brought to me in incognito at midnight. And I'm scared for my life driving out of my house at midnight to go and meet somebody I've never met who says, I have documents for you. Bernard, this job isn't easy. So when people criticize, I'm like, walk a mile in my moccasin.
By your privilege,
before you can tell me.
Both of you, your privilege places responsibilities on you. So yes, I know, I don't know your background, but you were both educated, and there are people who were born the same year you were born who didn't go to Infante Pim or where you went.
I went in the best school.
Where is that?
He went to,
fine. So that's good. So you are privileged. So you are saying, on one hand, you are saying that you are doing your best, but somebody can say to you that there is a 49 or 50-year-old man who didn't have an education, who has no means of doing what you are doing. So you have a responsibility to do what you are doing.
That is why
because you went to a Chimota school and you wear a nice bow tie. So it means you have to give more.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
We're doing. I mean, look, let me tell you, there's a lot that is going on. I mean, there are projects and drafts we are putting together that are not even ready. Because, like I said, you see, it's an intellectual discourse. Okay, we say that is where the fight should be. Okay, it doesn't have to be on the street every Friday or every Monday. Okay, it's an intellectual discourse we are having. Okay, so we need information. We need a document. We need to give them to appropriate specialist support through and advice. Okay, so that sometimes something will come out and you can take Occupy Ghana 2 weeks to respond. It's just because we need to do.
And you need more people. Yes, in fact, there are some comments for you. Please, how can I join Occupy Ghana? Another one. Hi Bernard, can Occupy Ghana also advocate for the building of high capacity health facilities like the Rich Hospital and others in other regions apart from Accra? Michael in Sawam. Sadiq from Ejura. God bless Occupy Ghana for what they've been doing for Mother Ghana. I am Sadiq from Ejura in Ashanti. How can I join them? Okay. Good evening, Bernard, and to your guest. How can my NGO partner with Occupy Ghana to campaign against road accidents and to embark on a road safety project? Tony Dixon, Road Safety Advocacy and Accident Victim Rights Organization. So a lot of people, you get my. So people want to be part of you. You're only 15. Why are you keeping it to yourself?
No, we have a website.
We have a
website.
We have a following. The occupiers.
The occupiers.
How can we join you?
So,
or we have to go to Achimota?
No.
Is that what you are saying?
No, not at all. He went to Kwabuchi.
Yeah, what is the pre-quality? What is the pre-quality? Why are you keeping this small? Based on the comments I'm getting, there are a lot of people who feel they can be part of what you're doing.
There's one of the reasons.
You want people who work.
We want people. We've been through various circumstances. Yes. It's a lot of hard work, and look, we must always have the tiered membership, because if a message is one thing is going to go to 50 people to argue, we might never issue a statement.
Well, I can create a structure.
Yeah, that's right. So there's a structure. So a structure.
Executive council, functional members.
It immediately starts demanding of me more time than I'm
willing. But why do you keep making this excuse?
Sacrifice? It's not an excuse. It's reality.
I don't know how he does it.
You have no idea. I have no idea. I don't sleep.
I'm being hard on you because
I don't sleep.
The truth is that.
What else should I do?
What is driving you is obviously strong enough to keep you awake at midnight to be receiving documents from people you don't know. So it's obviously something beyond pay. This doesn't pay you.
Yeah, but I'm tired.
Why? You can't be tired.
I'm human.
Because Ghana is not.
He doesn't sleep.
Okay, let me ask you a couple of quick questions. Both of you say you want to do social change, right? Let me read Theodore Roosevelt. And I'm going to ask you. He says, and you know this quote is a very popular quote, but I'm going to read it for those who don't know. So it's the man in the arena. It's not the critical counts. Not the man who points out the strong. How the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of the deed could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there's no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deed, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat.
No victory nor defeat.
Two comments on this from you. In a sense, you are that man in the middle. But also in another sense, people feel you should move further.
Yeah, but so
in the sense that
a demand like that means that quit your job and do OG full time.
No,
I understand
go into politics.
Go into politics.
Full time, partisan. Take a ministerial appointment. Get a. You see, because when you see, so somebody can say, we the politicians, you say we are corrupt. We have accepted a ministerial role in a difficult political system. We are making a difference. You, the guys who know better, are writing intellectual letters and forcing political general. Go and run for MP.
Can I ask you a question?
I'm just
I'll ask you a question. What would have happened to the building of the church if Paul had become a pastor of one of the churches?
Which church? Which Paul? What are you talking about?
Yes. Think about it.
What are you talking
sometimes about? It takes not taking a frontline position to be able to do the things that we do. There is always, but you know what I'll do? Let us not just have a man in the arena. Let's have men and women in the arena. I salute Citizen Ghana. I salute Imani. They're doing a great job. We need more of these all over the country, not necessarily tied to the coattails of Occupy Ghana, but citizens who are prepared to speak up and sustain the pressure. You see, that then allows us to do more than we are doing. But if we are working and identifying issues every 2 weeks, it becomes a very difficult call on our families and toll on our lives and our health.
But you want the country to change.
You are
doing a lot.
Everybody wants the country to change.
I know. My comment is there a time where you have to take this to the next level?
I don't know what you mean by next level.
Because now your kids will become parents soon.
You're trying to ask us whether we will go into frontline politics and so on.
I don't even vote for myself.
But you see, I think that we should look at it holistically. I mean, Ghana has many problems. Okay, and you cannot spread yourself too thin.
You make no impact.
You know, let's specialize. Okay, and then be able to make an impact in this space. Somebody else can do something else.
Is it that you're afraid that the political system will drown you or it will corrupt you?
No. Sometimes the system itself doesn't have it. Let me give you an example. We started an asset declaration fight, and we launched letters on assets declaration. Then the Auditor General calls us in and says, "We agreed what you're doing, but you know what's going to happen? We've ascertained that about 10,000 people have to declare the assets that they haven't. If they start declaring now, I won't know what to do. I'm going to receive 10,000 envelopes, and I don't even have physical space. So give us time." So I'll reveal this. In the past 3 months, OGE has been working with the Auditor General and with the Freddie Ebers Foundation. The Auditor General has developed a portal where people can literally declare their assets by phone, and he gets it e-copy, and it's easier to verify. So now we are preparing to launch out, and guess who has accepted to come and lead the public declaration of assets, so everybody follows the president.
Yeah, I think it's in 2 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks. Yeah.
He's prepared to come up and say that I agree with that there should be public declaration of assets for the Auditor General to vet. Now, so this is 3 months of work that never comes out. But the result is that we will have all 10,000 or so people declare their assets, and for the first time in the history of this country, the Auditor General will vet the assets and call people back to say, "You declared this, I've been to check, the asset doesn't exist."
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, it's difficult then to call for more when we spend time and money. Nobody's asked how much we spent on going to court. Now, this Bernard, you guys see, this is just the exhibit we filed in the Occupy Ghana matter. It was 300 pages. If you're going to the Supreme Court, you file 15 copies. Imagine the cost of just photocopies to us.
Let me read a few comments to end the show. Bernard, these are great brains. We need more of these all the time so we can learn from them, but not the politicians who just come and defend the indefensible. This is Samuel. Hi, Bernard. How can I join Occupy Ghana? I am interested. This is Della. Please, I am a soldier. How can I help?
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, look, there are issues. I mean, I'm like, for instance,
how can they?
We can't comment on.
Should they go on the website?
Yeah,
there's
a website. There's a website.
There's a website. There's a link.
You can get on, and you'll be placed in the tier.
Thank you, Lawyer Ankomah. My guests have been Ankomah, who's a private legal practitioner, and Dr. Micheal Segbefia, who's a a bone healer. He's a medical practitioner, members of Occupy Ghana. My name is Bernard Avile. Thank you for watching The Point of View. And